Hello and welcome back to Songs of Six. Obviously that is one of the markets I missed. Oh man, welcome back, welcome back. I'm gonna quickly cover all of the things that I've done and also fix up anything that I noticed while I was doing this. I have spent quite some time decorating this city, getting it ready for everyone to see. And here I am, I'm finally there. And I've got a lot to go over, a lot to show you guys, a lot of amazing stuff, and I think this is the other last bit here. A lot of amazing stuff. So we're going to start from the furthest northwest, portion of the map, and we're going to move our way down. We have our water pump zone, 2 new water pumps, allowing us to fill up our water access throughout the city, allowing for new baths. We have our ore mining, kind of like ore zone / carpenter workshop area. This is a mix up of things. It's got the charcoaler. This is a spare charcoaler. I'll likely move him over here, have this all be carpenters or maybe even smelters. I don't know. For right now, the idea is these workshops are highly maneuverable and I can easily switch one out for another or place a new one wherever I'd like. And for the amount of people who are there, they create enough that makes me feel happy. So, like, we have 3 of... Oh, yeah, we only have 3 of 10 for the carpenters. We have 1,200 spare furniture, and I use a lot. And we're also allocating 695 to our population. If I look at our access, we are giving 4 rations per day. Like I was talking about in the last episode, we are doing 4 rations per day. Meat will... rapidly spoil. So the idea is that in order to avoid that spoilage rate, that 33%, you just feed your people extra meat and then they're happy, because I usually have full storage of meat. We have 1,370 of the livestock, as well as a fair amount of leather. A lot of it gets used up on clothing. We have pottery, tons and tons of cotton, which I'm not using for anything. We have a great amount of ore and coal. This is all being created by the 8 charcoalers. 8 charcoalers. This is all being created by them, and I'm running 2 baths and a smelter all on that. So if you're having a problem with certain things, you gotta wrap your brain around it, I think. I don't know. I've seen people say that they struggle to get things like this up there. I have 8 charcoalers working hard. If you had 40 guys working in a coal mine, they're not going to pull up with near as much. Yes, you do need the wood in order to do that, but as we're just clear cutting wood, and I did have a wood cutter here, I removed it so I could put a new archery range. So we have 450 technically decently trained boys. We have 150 who are trained up to 40 melee or archery training. I'd like to get them up to 70, but that takes a long time. If I show you guys right here, it's gonna take them 63 days to get that next training, or actually no, it will only take them 10 days to get the next training level. That's actually not that bad. So we'll set them to do that while we're sitting here, because I want to have a super powerful army ready to beat up anybody. We have our tiny little training ground here. I'll probably expand that and put it here, but I just put the dungeon there for now so that I can put in a new mason. The second mason here really helped us get these statues. I was trying to cover our environmental statues and pillars, so it needs to be over 6% to quote-unquote reach max fulfillment. So if I have this, it's giving me a boost to the overall percentage. It's only 0.15 of the overall environment, but it still helps. So we have that. That's why you have these statues all around. We have our tailors. This is the tailor zone, as I mentioned from the last one. Oh, speaking of which, I probably should, that's probably one of my biggest issues right now, if I just thought about it, is I have no guards. But, to be honest, Tilapis don't really commit crime. Yeah, I want to put it in the center here. They don't really commit too much in the way of crime. So there's really no reason to sweat having guards everywhere. Yeah, we'll put it right here. I think that's a good spot. Kind of in the center of these little townships here. And if you look closely, we've expanded, we've doubled. So I kind of mirrored the top half with the bottom half, so that this is the road that I built, going all the way down to our ore mine, which I didn't show you guys. We have Garthimis working in here. The Garthimi are working hard, pulling tons of ore. They bring it straight over here. And speaking of which, I also needed to upgrade all of my hearths throughout the city. There's a lot of work to do in this dang old city here. Might as well just quickly go through it here. If you ever want to quickly upgrade things, you could go over which one's got the lowest green, or you could just go down the list like I'm doing now and just keep doing it until you run out of resources. Usually you'll run out of cut stone, marble, as I like to call it, marble, before you get to that point. So we built this whole duplicate half of the city, giving us access to tons and tons of workers, space, and living. I also upgraded the shrines, so all the shrines are upgraded. I put a good amount of technology when and upgraded the laboratories, which are over here. So they are at the second level, not the first level, but the second level, and they are doing really good. If I need more, I just duplicate and I do this. So the main reason I duplicate a lot in this is because there's so much to do. I don't want to put my brain to crafting new buildings when I have I think a shape that I like in my mind. I don't want the Tilapis to have big buildings. I don't think that the big buildings really fit them. The only buildings that are really big are going to be buildings that fit the value. So this is like the max. This is the large warehouse, where the other shape one here, this is a small warehouse. That's basically how I treat them. Everything from food stalls to markets will change shape. This lavatory is what I'd call the big lavatory, as they were really hammering this spot, and it seems like they may need those big lavatories, kind of where they have their bathrooms. Seems like they do use the bathroom more than I thought. I was under the impression that Tilapis don't use the bathroom very often, but I only had one small lavatory right here, and it was keeping my whole population pretty happy. If I look at it now, it's at 72%, which it was at 26%. So all of our services are getting up there. The fight pits, only way to get that up there is to have falcatas, so I'd have to upgrade the falcatas. And you also need 240 cut stone for the max size building here, so that's a couple thousand cut stone. We have our other bathhouse over here. Ideally, I'd like to get bathhouses on this half of the city, but that is going to be really hard as I'd have to run water all the way down through the center of the city, and I probably will never do that because that's just a waste. And I think the best part is these Forest Plaza tiles here. We have a lot of Forest Plaza tiles, so I went and decorated our little throne room, quote unquote. It's an open top throne. That's kind of what I was going for. And speaking of which, we actually have the materials to build a gatehouse. So I'll put the gatehouses in there so that if we ever get attacked, we can put our troops up on the walls here. And they will do absolutely nothing. They're not very good at defending. So this is just for the aesthetic. That's why I didn't build a fortress. I'm building it for the sake of aesthetics, basically. So they come along here. They swear fealty, and then they get to work. They get down to business. And we have a lot of pastures here. This area is where all of our people are happiest. They are happy to work in pastures more than anything else, and orchards. So in the next episodes, I'm going to focus on trying to get larger and more efficient orchards. Probably fit them in here. Or I'll actually fit them in here because there's a lot of space in between here and there. And I like to work and build towards something like this, the clay pit. So this clay pit is kind of a mirrored image of the iron zone. And speaking of which, there's so much stuff that I catch when I'm doing this. That's kind of why I like doing it anyways. And this area is the mirrored zone of the southern portion, simply because I don't care about the Garthimes. I don't want them to even have anything of value. All I give my slaves is a food stall. And speaking of which, I actually need to give them a well. Ideally, you want to give them a well so that they don't frickin' die of thirst. Although they don't drink it, they clean themselves off. And then you want to have a hearth. Hearth is kind of the same story here, but similar situation, but they'll die from freezing to death. I think I'll just kind of put it in the middle over here. So there's 6 of them. It's not going to line up nicely. I have it nicely lined up over here. Oh, actually, I have it attached to the mine, so we can just put it kind of in here. Yeah, sure, we'll do it right here. And then we'll give them a speaker as well. Oop, I keep doing that. I always go to the stage before I go to the speaker. I'll put that there. I put them randomly. I know that they have a pattern. I know that they will prefer to have their services by their job. And so if you ideally put your well, your hearth, and all your things, your food stall on top of the work site, that would be the best solution. But I'm trying to go for like appearance more so than anything. So, but yeah, I think that's about it. That's all I have achieved in this portion of the episode. But it is a lot. It is a lot because I went and I built all these cobblestone roads. I went and built the plazas. I gotta put some more plaza tiles. I'd like to ideally put like plaza tile kind of like tucked in like areas like this so that there's some, or even just surround the speakers with the plaza tile, so when they're sitting by the speaker, they'll get the radiation of the harmony that's coming from the tile. That's how that works, if you're ever wondering. And having benches, for example, if you have benches, I think I have some over here, on the tile itself, that's the best way to get the effect. This area right here would be one of the most efficient areas to get harmony. If I look, like if they sat right here, he will literally go into like a euphoric state, or she, sorry. I will consistently call the Tilapis he into the end of time because I can't get it through my thick fiend brain that they're not freaking men. They're chicks. They're all chicks. Every one of these people is a chick. They're all femoids. I'm running a female colony here, and they're really fucked up. If you know the Songs of Six lore of Tilapi, they may look cute and they may act pretty nice, but they're actually some of the most fucked up, the actual most fucked up character in Songs of Six. And if you look into their lore, you can tell why. I won't go into it specifically, but I think it's important to keep in the back of your mind what they do to the things that they dislike. And so that basically entails eating them, but along the way they do a little snoo, as Futurama calls it. And yeah. So Tilapi are fucked up characters. All these Narda here, actually like Narda's got a good looking look to her here. We'll favorite Narda. Twinkle Bottom. Wow. I didn't even realize her name was Twinkle Bottom. That's a good one. But she is tall as actual hell. She is 7.3 tall. The god of his kin is Krator. So I guess she is actually a he. Yeah, they're supposed to be females. A lot of the sex-based stuff in this game is irrelevant, though. It's not something that will matter, really, to be honest. It's more about the characters themselves and what they do as a race, species, or whatever you want to call them. Regardless, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have been enjoying the series so far. I know it's not the typical style that everyone was enjoying from before, but I think that the vast majority of people want to just see the results. The people who do want to see the process, I have plans for you as well. I have plans for everything, hopefully. Just like I have plans to expand and conquer all of my neighbors. These guys are actually really friendly though, so I might not do it, but for example him, he doesn't have the best opinion, so maybe I could start with him and move my way across. Who knows? Regardless, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.